1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So you're going to measure 0.7 inch into 8 places. Later you're going to fold the last lines on both sides. You're going to fold it, so that is why it is 8. So right now you're going to place it on your last and then cut off some excesses. The length already is 12 inch, so you have to cut off some excess. Then after that you have to punch on along the lines on both sides. We are going to use them to mark out the lines on our leather pattern, so it is very important. So the next thing after crafting your pattern is to mark it out on your leather, and then use your ruler to connect the dots to make it lines. That is where we are going to stitch after crafting the pattern. There's a lot of way this pattern can be made, but we're going to be taking them one after the other. So after this one, we're going to be taking another procedure on how to create the pattern, same pattern. So this is just one of the ways you can create the pattern. After that, you cut the pattern into shape. So after that, you cut out the foam you are going to attach to the pattern. Then turn the pattern and then place back your raw file on the leather pattern, and then mark out the width of the pattern. Remember, you're going to fold the last lines, so that is where you're going to mark out, and the foam is going to fall at the center, so that is why you have to mark it out. So then you cut the foam to be able to size and be fixed at the center, so that you can be able to fold the leather. So after doing that, you gum the foam to the center of your pattern, and then the next thing is to apply gum at the edges to be folded. After that, you fold the edges of the pattern. So now you can see what we have. The next thing now is to attach our lining. After that, we stitch along the lines, and then after stitching, we cut off the excess lining. Time to create the sole. Mark out your insole on your Mako, then apply your gum, replace it, and then start welding. The Mako I'm using is Mako 6mm. It is advisable that you use Mako 10mm so that you don't have to pile up a lot of Mako. I'm using 6mm because that's what I could lay my hands on. After that, cut off the excess Mako as after welding. Then you see what we have. Pile up the Mako, get the thickness you want, and then you smooth the edges and also the sharp edges here. You see these sharp edges, you have to grind them. You don't need the sharp edges. And after doing that, you measure the length of the leather that have to cover the sole round. So I'm having about 26 inch, and the measurement depends on the size you're making, so you measure the width also. I'm having about 3 inch, so that is the measurement of the leather that we're going to cut, that we're going to use to cover it. So here is the leather I have stitched. You see it here. I've stitched the joint. It has to be here, and then you have to wear it to the sole. Make sure it is tight. If it is not tight, you take it back to your sewing machine and then reduce the length. So once you have set it properly, remember the joint has to be at the corner. See where the joint is. So once you have fixed it, you apply your gum. You have to do it one after the other, one side at a time. After applying your gum, you fold, and then turn the other side, and then apply your gum too, and then fold. After folding, cut off the excess leather with your razor. Then apply your gum also to the back, the other side, and then fold. Once you are done, cut off the crease at the back. And with that, we are done with the sole crafting. So you see what we have. The next thing is to last our pattern and then couple the footwear. After coupling, then place the sole on your macro sole 4 millimeters and then mark it out. Then remove about 0.2 inch from the actual shape. After cutting it into shape, place it on the same macro to cut out for the other side of the foot. Then place it on the sole to mark out where you are supposed to put your gum. Remember, you have to file the edges before doing so. So you place it this way, then mark out the point where you have to apply your gum to avoid spilling gum where it's not necessary. After that, couple the footwear and then you are done with the whole process. So this is what we arrived at. Remember, what we used was the regular welt, so you can also try it out. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment section, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get updates. Have a nice day and see you in our next video.